Today I'm in a 2011 Range Rover Sport 3-litre TD V6, and if you want an honest review of one, look no further, because believe me when I say I can be objective about these, I'd never give Land Rover my money. I've ended up with this car as a PX against the car I was selling, otherwise I likely would have never ended up with one. But surprisingly, apparently this is the sort of one you want to buy if you are looking to buy an L320 Range Rover Sport. So it's post 2010 and it's got a very good service history. In fact, someone paid 17 grand for this 6 years ago and then had it maintained at Land Rover at a cost of over 7 grand, and now the car is worth, if you're lucky, 4 grand. So they've lost 13 grand in depreciation and spent 7 grand maintaining it. So 20 grand over the course of 5 or 6 years is a lot just to be in a car like this. For the last few months I've been running around in a Navara, a video to follow soon, and which I bought as a tow vehicle, and you'll find out why that's a good tow vehicle and a bad tow vehicle in the video. But regarding the Range Rover, I thought I needed to collect something from Scotland, and I thought, do you know what, I might use the Range Rover. So I took a look underneath and saw the detachable tow bar with the protective cap in there. Pulled it out, expecting one to be in the boot. Got these split tailgates on these. Had a look in the service kit and thought, oh right, okay, it's missing, someone's taken it out. What I did was I went to buy a brand new tow ball, expecting under this cover to have factory electrics, and this is what I found when I got there. Nothing there. Thankfully, the person selling the tow ball, give me my money back. Apparently the wiring harness goes up somewhere in here, and you can get a genuine wiring harness that goes from here to the correct position, but fancy not having it fitted at all. I mean, this is a bumper that's obviously specific for having a tow bar. Whether they did this on all the facelift models, I don't know, but you would think that they would just have them as standard on all of them. If they're going to bother having the space there to fit it, you would think they would just have it as standard. And one of the main reasons I think that this is a good buy for someone is it's only an SE. It's not a HSE, it's not a luxury, it's not an autobiography. It's not one of the ones that generally is driven and abused by posers and idiots. So I think that this, at 130,000 miles, is a much better buy than perhaps a better looking example, because you know that someone's just had this as a nice luxury estate, not necessarily to show off, but just to travel around in comfort, and they've maintained it regardless of cost, which is great for me. Things I do like: when you're driving, press this button, cruise control immediately on at the speed that you're doing. you get a lot of cars that have the, you know, obviously the cruise controls are in different positions, but you've got to turn the cruise control on and then select the speed or press 2 or 3 different buttons to get it to just start cruising. I really do like the fact that you can just press that one button and immediately the cruise control's on. And actually pointed out to me by the previous owner, you have this crotch vent in front of the driver's seat, which, believe me, is very good. An odd thing to have, but it is good. So seats fold flat. Absolutely humongous estate car, which is quite appealing to me, to be honest. And believe it or not, there's only one thing that doesn't work on this car, that's the parking sensors. Got no error codes on the dash, no noises from the suspension, air suspension absolutely fine, doesn't sink or sag overnight, aircon absolutely perfect, icy cold. Now I did briefly have a Disco 3, only because I bought it with the top end damaged and repaired it. And my favourite thing about it was you could put a cup of coffee on the dashboard and drive down a country lane and it wouldn't spill, which I just found incredible. I've not experienced anything quite like it in all the cars that I've driven. The Range Rover Sport is apparently based on the same platform as the Disco 3. The way that the suspension works on these, they're so comfortable. They're just, they're floaty, but still really well composed on the road. There's plenty of poke from the 3 litre V6, which is actually made by Peugeot, so even the 2.7 and the 3 litre V6 diesels are actually PSA engines, so you'll actually find them in Peugeots and Citroens. I'm led to believe that they can experience crankshaft failure, but whether this is due to the long service intervals that manufacturers label the cars as should have in, I don't know, but this is someone who's rebuilt several M135s that have failed at 40, 50, 60,000 miles, and that's all due to poor maintenance. But when you have a maintenance interval of 2 years or 18k, people don't drive them gently and quite often go over the service schedule, and obviously there you end up with issues with the engines. So possibly the main things that'll put you off the Range Rover, if being a Land Rover product isn't enough, the tax on this is 735 quid for the year. I don't know why, because I've seen the Tuaregs and Porsche Cayennes and things like that. From 2006 to 2010, they had the stupid high tax bracket, but then after 2010, they all went back down to 400. This Range Rover is a 2011 and somehow is still the higher tax bracket, so I don't know what they did differently to the other manufacturers. I had a 2014 Touareg, and it drove more like a car. They drive really well, but you can feel the weight compared to other manufacturers' cars. Quick 0 to 60. Blisteringly fast, but pleasant and smooth, consistent. It's a lot better for overtaking than standstill acceleration. Otherwise, really impressed with this car, but probably very lucky to get an example like this, which on the outside might not be perfect, but it's been maintained to a very high standard. And this is what you probably should be looking for. Don't go for one that's all flash and got 22-inch wheels. Maybe get one that's a bit lower spec that hasn't been abused. So I hope you've enjoyed me sharing this car with you, and there'll be many more to come. Thanks for watching, and do keep a lookout for the projects I've got going on in the future.